Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video I was inspired by a Pinterest person because her clothes are really bright and colorful, so the background corresponded to that, and I'm actually really happy with how this whole thing turned out. It's been a while since I've used color in any of my pieces because I am in the process of doing Inktober, so that's kind of taken over the whole thing, and I have missed a few days, but a video will be on that later. So I started off with just inking in the black parts of the background because I had an idea like where the squared off areas were. I was going to color all those squigglies in black, and then around the outside I was going to do a really colorful like colored pencil because I felt like it matched the girl's clothing, but I didn't want the colors to be side by side so you wouldn't be able to see the clothing. I honestly was feeling really creative this day because normally I don't step outside of a reference or anything like that, but with this background, I feel like I did and it turned out good, so I should do it more often. I'm not going to show the whole process of coloring these in because it took a while and it's honestly kind of boring because I'm just using black, but I switched between my Micron pen and my black Ahuhu marker for larger areas, and for areas I wanted more detail, I used the Micron. I am in my Illo sketchbook, so the bleed through is very minimum, but there is still some on the back side, so I'll probably have to cover it up later, but that's fine. Alrighty, now on to the actual person. I start off coloring in her skin tone because that's what I normally start off with, and I leave like everything else for last. I think I did either the clothes or the hair last on this one. I don't quite remember. But I did use a mixture of Copic Chows and Hoo alcohol markers and then my Col-Erase colored pencils for this piece. This is the only thing I wish I hadn't done was color in the inside of the lips black because I feel like it was too dark and I should have used like a dark brown colored pencil or something like that. I also really struggle with drawing eyes, so I was super happy when I saw that this reference had sunglasses on because it means I didn't have to draw them and I was able to focus on other areas of the picture. So I picked out all the colors I was going to use for the clothing beforehand and just set them to the side so that I could grab them as needed. So that's what all the colors to the right side of my sketchbook are. Also, I do have the little clear plastic slip that Ahuhu gives you in their marker sets in between the pages, just in case one area bleeds through more than the other so that I don't ruin multiple pages. But that normally doesn't happen, it's just for my conscience to make sure that I know that it's not going to happen. So I covered in the jewelry with a yellow color, and later I'm going to go back and I have a gold Posca that I use, and sometimes I push a little bit of ink out on another surface and then get a paintbrush so I can do smaller details because it's a larger nib Posca. So I did that for this piece. Honestly, I was super inspired by all the colors Static Wool uses in her art, so I wanted to try to get out of my comfort zone and use more colors in the pieces. Lately, I have been trying to do a little bit of drawing every day or every other day just so I can get some practice in, but that day was the day that I actually had time to put in the work for a finished piece, and I was actually super happy because I haven't had a whole bunch of time lately to do art, so when I do have time, it just makes me feel a lot better because I'm able to put out pieces that I'm satisfied with and feel like are finished. The lady's clothing in the picture was honestly giving me like hippie vibe clothing, but I was here for it. It was super fun to draw, and I feel like I conveyed that pretty well. While I was coloring, I felt like I was losing where the collar was, so I decided to outline that with my Micron pen and the rest of the clothing so I wouldn't be confused where folds and stuff like that was so that I could do proper shading. The way I colored this shirt was I did a couple blocks of purple and a couple blocks of orange, and then I went in with the rest of the colors and I did like a whole bunch of squigglies. So for the glasses, there was like a gold shine mark through the middle of them, and they were purple. They just look so cool. They're kind of like an aviator style glasses, but that's what I'm doing here is I'm doing the yellow first and then going back in with the gold. Now on to the hair. I think the hair was one of my favorite things to draw and color because I simplified it a lot more than I normally do, and I feel like it turned out the way I wanted it to. And I wish I could do this simplified version for every hairstyle that I draw, but I haven't gotten it down yet, but I did in this picture. I am honestly so surprised how well this piece turned out because I haven't done like a finished piece like this in a while, so I was feeling kind of rusty, but I just let myself do what I wanted to, didn't put any pressure. Even though I was recording, if it didn't turn out, it was going to be okay. I am a very honest artist, so I feel like the good should also be shown with the bad. So if this piece didn't turn out, you'd still be seeing the video. I'd just be critiquing what I should have done differently and what I liked and what I didn't like. Now on to the colored pencil background. I started off with pink, and just like I did with the shirt, I sat out all the colors of the shirt and colored pencils to the side so that I could just grab them and I didn't have to actually look through my pencil case. All my Col-Erase colored pencils are actually getting pretty short, so I'll probably have to buy a new pack on that and then it'll be like inserted into a video somewhere just to show y'all what I buy. And so if y'all want to use the same supplies, you can. I do try to buy fairly cheap art supplies because I'm an artist on a budget, and a lot of times you don't need the most expensive art supplies to make a good piece. The only reason I do have Copic Chows and my Hoo markers is because they were given to me as a gift, but I honestly think the Hoo markers are worth it and they're a lot less expensive than the Copic markers, so take with that what you will. In my last video, I did mention that I splurged on three different size Micron pens and then 3 different size white Jelly Roll pens just because I had my other ones for so long that they were drying out and I needed new ones. It's hard for me because I don't stick to one medium. I do colored pencils, I do markers, I do fine liners, I do regular pencil, so I run out of art supplies in certain areas, so I have to restock accordingly. But honestly, I feel like that's what makes my sketchbooks unique is because there's so different medias on there, and it makes it less boring to look at. But back to what I'm doing now. So when I first started coloring this in, I went in very lightly with the colored pencils just to put like where I wanted the different colors, and then later I pressed really hard down on the paper, and I think that's where all the vibrant colors came from, because at first I was like, I don't really like how this is looking, but once I pressed harder with the colored pencils, it became more vibrant and matched the top better. So before I even started this piece, I had drawn a square on this page and it had been sitting there for a while. And my idea was that inside the square, it was going to be all color, and then the picture was going to extend outside the square, and it was going to be just regular pencil, so it was going to be gray, because I like the ideas that I saw on Pinterest where people took certain shapes and they drew the picture in color, and then they would put those shapes in it, and then like circles of shapes in the picture would be in regular pencil. I just feel like it looked really cool, so I kind of took from that idea too and combined it into this one. This part did take longer because I had to plan out where I wanted the colors and sharpen the color pencils when they got dull, and it just takes longer to press harder and draw with colored pencils, but I think it turned out good, so I'm not going to complain about how long it took. I honestly didn't think this video would be out in time because I did had to go out of state recently for traveling purposes, and I didn't have a video pre-recorded or anything like that, so this was kind of a last minute recording, so I hope you enjoy. Normally, I would plan out a video and have it ready to be uploaded on Sunday like I normally do at 5, but this time I only had one video ready for that Sunday, and I didn't have one ready for this coming up Sunday, and I had to work, so I've been kind of trying to decide what I wanted to do for this video, but I think this turned out really good and I'm happy with the results. So I was getting super annoyed with this colored pencil because there was 2 cracks on each side of it, and the lead was just wiggling back and forth, and it felt like it was going to break at any moment, but I ended up making it work and the lead didn't break. Somehow it held up, but that was my struggles with this colored pencil. So I started coloring with this green and realized it was not the color I wanted. So here's me getting out my roll-up pencil pouch and trying out another green, and that one turned out better, but still not matching the marker, but that's okay. I couldn't decide if I should outline the colorful squigglies in like a really thin black micron just so they'd stand out more or not. But once you see what it looks like finished, let me know in the comments what you think I should do, because I don't know at this point. So here is the piece after I finished shading with colored pencils, and I used my gold Posca marker like I said earlier, and I just put some on a piece of paper and got a paintbrush and painted that onto the sunglasses, the necklace, and the earrings just so that it would pop out a little bit more. The gold is honestly what I felt brought this piece together, and it was just the finishing touches to get this piece to where I wanted it, just to add that little bit of shimmer when you turn the page. If you made it this far in the video, comment squiggles down below and I will be shouting you out in my next video. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.